So to start us off, and I've kind of modified my window here, so hopefully it's not too small. Trying to get a better layout on this thing. We're not going to talk too much Stitt. I think Stitt probably got out of the state. Cameras haven't found him yet, but he's been incredibly quiet this week. So we'll turn to our other statewide elected officials that managed to make some news, and that would be Jimmy Lankford. We've speculated on the show about that Mr. Lankford, I think, is or was going to run for president. Probably not now. But now it's maybe seeming like he was getting the rumblings from the various corners of Trump world that he was going to have an opponent, and a legit opponent. And so this week, in the midst of a very quiet spring break, Jackson Lemire, I guess how you say it, officially launched his campaign against James Lankford. And here's a 22-second clip from Ben Felder on that announcement.
Absolutely embarrassing. And I saw fear all over him on January the 6th. He caved in like an absolute coward, and that let me know he is not the man to represent our state in the fight that our country is in right now. We need strong men, strong women who are good people, but are willing to fight for what is right. Absolutely.
So, yeah, he's referring to James Lankford's switch of the vote there on January 6th, where mid-speech he was interrupted by insurrectionists at the Capitol and decided, I was going to support the big lie. Just kidding. No, I'm not. Apparently that was enough to provoke this pastor / small businessman / right-wing ideologue to throw his hat. And I believe sitting there next to him is Michael Flynn, just in case you need to know kind of the caliber of who he's palling around with. Get the Trump pardon list. And then here, what was this? Chris Polanski, reporter out of Tulsa, primarying James Lankford from the right, all in on the conspiratorial lies. And so here's a tweet of him saying, "What would I have done on January 6th if I was the senator for the state of Oklahoma instead of James Lankford? ? I would not have certified a lie. To certify a lie is to join in with the lie. Oklahomans will remember this come June 2022. So, yeah. And then key issues, if you want to see his website. I mean, there's a First and Second Amendment. I like this one because it's kind of that, you need the First or the Second Amendment to defend the First. But if we lose the Second Amendment, we will lose the First Amendment, which is what the radical left is truly after. So, it does a lot there. They're coming for your guns. We got to use our guns to defend ourselves. It's, making sure to cover all the psychotic right-wing bases. Abortion, America First, cancel culture. Can't miss that. I mean, this is extremely. This dude is extremely online because he's got Columbus Day, Dr. Seuss, Erase Our History. I mean, hat tip to the white nationalists. This dude's going for it. Election integrity, of course. I mean, he just outright says that it was fraud. Yeah. Although some politicians have apologized for questioning fraud for their own political purposes, it is clear that there was massive voter fraud in 2020, unlike any other election. I mean, he's just, the big lie is just right there. Anyway, so congrats, James Lankford. Go for it.
A couple of things. Whenever you called it that Lankford had national ambitions, presidential ambitions, I should say. And I was like, really? You think so? But then after you broke it down, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. But now, a question that we discussed was, it's different to being right-wing crazy and getting elected in Oklahoma and then navigating a national space when you have ambitions. And it's funny because Lankford played that as about as worse as someone could play it, and I'm going to go through that. I mean, he has more money than this guy, so I think he probably and he has that incumbency advantage. But And on that side of it, I don't know what to expect, right? But here's how James Lankford played it horribly. Okay, so national political ambitions is quite simple. Ted Cruz did it. Josh Hawley did it. You're going to lie. You're going to go with the big lie and try to deny certification. Langford went along with that to feed his ambitions. Just so happens that a murderous mob
mid-speech
invaded the Capitol in the middle of his big lie, right? And so Langford, his national political instincts are just not as good because he's not a nakedly ambitious, soulless ghoul as much as Cruz and Hawley. They were all in. Listen, I'm trying to be president 2024. Fuck y'all. I'm like, they were all in, even though they were on the verge of getting killed, right? So that they were all in. He took a step back and was like, okay, people try to kill me. I'm not going to go forward with the big lie. So here's how he played that horribly. With Trump, it's all or nothing, right? So in Trump's mind, you said you were going to defend me. You ended up not defending me. Now you're my enemy. It's a zero-sum game with Donald Trump. So now you have Lankford running up, getting primaried by a guy who's palling around with Mike Flynn, who was buddies with Trump. Trump pardoned Mike Flynn. He was going to be in his cabinet, right? That's his boy. So you have Lankford getting primaried by a guy who's, I don't know if his campaign manager has some involvement with Flynn, was one of Trump's partners. Lankford, in Trump's mind, betrayed Trump by not going forth with the big lie. If you look at the national political landscape for the Republican Party, it's Mitch McConnell wants to be the Senate majority leader. Donald Trump wants to go to the Donald Trump. Whenever those things can go hand in hand, they work perfectly for them. Whenever those things come in conflict, it's going to be Trump and his money versus Mitch and his money, right? And Mitch's Senate leadership fund has dozens of millions of dollars because rich assholes like Steven Schwartzman from like BlackRock just give him tons of money for their C4s. Shout out dark money or whatever. But he's going to have to, Mitch McConnell's going to look, and places like Ohio with Toomey, he's going to try to run a moderate candidate there. I'm sorry, Pennsylvania with Toomey. Ohio with the guy who's I forget the senator's name eludes me, but the guy in Ohio, he's retiring.
Yeah.
Mitch is probably going to spend some money there. Mitch is going to look at Oklahoma and say, and barring this guy being like a complete wacko, Mitch is going to look at Oklahoma and say, I'm not going to spend money there because we're going to win regardless. So Lankford, they're going to leave Lankford to die like they did Ron Johnson in 2016, right? So he's going to be on his own. So he played this about as poorly as possible. I mean, that being said, I don't know much about, well, okay, I know this guy's fucking crazy. But I assume Lankford has the money advantage and has the advantage of incumbency, but he may actually get primary, and you never can make predictions of this side of the aisle. And last thing, if you look at what Lankford, it's just crazy. If you look at what Lankford did, he went down to the border and took some photos, I think, and was like lying about terrorists crossing the border, which has been disproven several times. Yeah, but he didn't expect this. And this guy, like, he's almost like a Lankford clone.
Yeah.
Except a bit crazier. Church guy, 4 kids, creepy as fuck. Checks all of those boxes, but is willing to be a little bit crazier than James Lankford. So Lankford can't like out church him, because I think this guy's over like the Sheridan church or whatever.
Yeah, he's a mega church guy. Yeah.
Yeah. So Lankford can't out church him. That's usually his lane. So now it's going to be, I guess, the battle of the crazies, and you never know with that. And he has Mike Flynn, so he may have Trump.